All right, hey guys, what's going on? All right, we finished out a fabulous weekend, Mustang Alley, did some Woodward Ave things on Friday night. I had a blast, a lot of fun. Met my buddy Gino with the 2016 Shelby. To a newbie, guy up from Kentucky, Twisted_Stang. Check him out on Instagram, and had some new toys too to check out. Actually, we use, so thanks to Bossworks. He's also on Instagram. Check him out with the white boss. He set me up with this fat Geico and the Telson selfie stick. This is how we did our bird's eye view of pulling into Mustang Alley, and that turned out pretty cool. Again, a great time. So we're going to talk about the car. We got over 800 break-in miles now on the Tremec. So that's going to open us up for some more opportunities. The clutch, I'm sure, is fully broken in. We do want to share, we got our hardware, which is metric, for getting our white shifter ball fitted. So that's on and mounted, yay for that. The car ran great on the way over, great on the way back. However, I discovered, again, I'm chewing up the right front tire, so did some further investigating. I also raised the car up another ½ an inch. And I checked out the components under there. They don't look damaged, but we are out of camber. So when we hit that dip back in the spring, coming back from M1, and I hit it pretty hard ever since then and knocked that front wheel off. And we're gonna take it and get adjusted on the 11th. The tire, eventually I'm gonna replace it. I won't do it this year, but I do wanna get it back realign to specifications, but I'll show you what that looks like and show you how I found that. So basically this is for reference only, so we put a level against the car to see where it was at. So against the wheel for a reference. That's the rear, the driver's side. This is the front, the driver's side. Now this side, nothing ever happened. So you can see where that's sitting. Whoop. About the same as in the rear. We come around to this side, that bubble is totally off. It's not even there, so that's why this continues to chew on my tire. Man, and these tires are quite expensive tires, but we're not going to get it replaced this year, but I do want to get it fixed. So the car is planted on the road and going down correct, and I don't, damage the tires anymore. Give you guys a quick view of the ball. I think it's looking awesome. So I got some more seat time again with the Tremec, and I'm really liking the transmission. What I like about it is, first gear is a little bit longer, so it's a little bit easier to drive, stretch it out more gradually. Second gear, likewise. Instead of shifting first, second, or sometimes with the old stage 3, you would go through, the MT82 stock gear, you'd go from second to fourth, sometimes first to fourth, because you get tired of shifting. In this case, it stretches it out a little longer. It makes it a little more comfortable to drive. The gears, they are the perfect setup on the highway. So I'm liking the transmission. Here's what I don't like about it. So we did a Dragy pull. I'm gonna share it. Not a great as I expected, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I didn't have my settings properly set. I had 1/8 mile, and it took it out to 1,000 foot, and somehow I screwed up on the 1/4 mile. It wasn't in there to record that data. However, the 1,000 foot is the fastest I've turned, and when you do the conversion for 1,000 foot, it should be a 1 times 1.2. We netted a 7.4 ET in the quarter in the street. Now, you know, for this car, my best ever on a street tire. This is on a street tire with traction control on. My best ever was 1330 and maybe a 13.0 at the track with traction control off, but that was spinning like crazy. So one thing about this launch you're going to notice, it was bad for one, but it was very, very delayed. Probably, I don't know, a second and a half. So anyways, some work there. I'm not hugely concerned about it, but I know this car is going to do better than before in my opinion. But what I noticed, shifting the force, I like the close ratio. First, second is great. Third, not so bad. Fourth, when I shifted into fourth from 7,500 RPM, you got a really low RPM drop. I want to say, you can hear it. I want to say it was 4,000, maybe 39. But from my memory, I believe it was about 4,000. And of course, this car doesn't make anything until it's above 4. Usually 45 is where it wants to scream. So a little bog. It was, of course, still pulling. I don't know how much that would hurt your time. So again, that's the downside. Yeah, guys, I'm still liking it. That's the update. Send me your comments. What do you think of the video? Listen, this isn't a wild, super fast ride. We're building a reliable, fast car. Again, too, I want to mention this heads and cams that we've been talking about. I'm not sure if I'm ready to do that yet. Our transmission, we sold it. Our stage 3. I originally sold it to a guy in California. I just want to update you guys on this, and I'll have a separate video. I refunded the guy's money in full because the trans was still knocking as it was here. I followed Kellermer's instructions. You had to check the clutch first. Clutch was cracked at 3 places. Well, the trans also was bad. So sent it back, spent $700 to send it to California, to Kellermer. I refunded the guy's money back in full and sent it to him as friends and family so he didn't lose that extra percent for his grief. I felt awful about that, awful, but he got his money back. Here's where it gets real sticky. Come to find out, my transmission had 2 bad gears. They were 4th gear. 4th gear is the one I complained about the most. This is what I talk to Kellermer about all the time. Oh no, that transmission was the quieter one on the dyno. It's gonna make some noise at idle, but I always had this deep humming sound. So what was wrong and what led to this knocking in my transmission is a bad wear pattern. They didn't warranty. They didn't give me a lick of warranty. They wanted to charge me $1,750 to repair it and ship it back. And, you know, I says, no, you know, I'm not gonna have any more into that. They didn't warranty it because it was too many miles, 4,000 miles. However, even though I've called them and documented every bit of the way, complaining about this transmission, they knew it. They knew it. Even the 40 horsepower loss, which could be related to those gears not meshing well, right? Yeah. So anyways, I said, screw it. Give me $1,200 for it, for parts. For parts. They basically told me to bend over. That's what they did. So I went on out of curiosity to call G-Force Transmissions. G-Force Transmissions makes the G-Force billet steel gears for Kellermer. They're in the same area code. They may be neighbors for all I know. So check this out. I said, hey guys, what's it cost for a billet gear set for MT-82? Oh, we don't sell them outright. We make them as exclusively for Ben Kellemer. Okay, so what's a warranty? What kind of warranty are on those? We don't warranty those. That's up to Ben Kellemer. So basically, if you're buying a trans and having them build you a trans, you're at a huge risk, okay? For one, they kept saying to me, your car doesn't make enough horsepower to hurt that transmission. We don't know what's wrong with it before they got into it, okay? Well, it wasn't anything to do with horsepower and hurting the transmission. It started from either the gears were cut or the transmission was set up improperly. That's not on me. That's not on me, right? And they weren't professional enough in a business to fix my transmission and replace the gears. A week before, when I told them it was coming, we talked about, they said the gears are warranted. But when it came to, you know, asking for the warranty, when they had a transmission in hand, they says, no, we can't warranty them. There's too many miles on it. So that's bullshit. So that's where we stand. So you guys out there, you're loving your BC Kellemer. He's a jackass. Sorry. He's a jackass. He dealt me wrong, and I'm sure he's dealing others wrong. So that's going to be known. As you can see, I wasn't supposed to get into this. That's going to be known on the internet because it should be known. So where I'm going with this is the trans was going to generate the cash for the head and cams install, crank gear, the oil pump gears, etc. $2,900, okay? We're gonna have to sell some things, sell some parts, or try and figure out, can I do this myself? So, all right, guys, yeah, that's where we're at with the car. Comment on the Dragy. No hate mail, please, and I'm just sharing information. We will get the car set up on the drag tires and wheels and do some more hits in the street and see where we're gonna end up at. As far as getting it on the dyno, yeah, that's a whole nother story. I'm getting no callbacks from my guy, so I'll get there eventually. Unfortunately, being in a small town, there just isn't a lot of that business going on around us, so you're kind of stuck with what you got. So that's where we're at, guys. I'll be out next week in Minnesota for business, so I'm not going to be doing any videotaping. If anything, I may be doing some shorts and things like that from things that I already have, so just an FYI. So guys, like what you see, like and subscribe, hit that like button, tell your friends, let's get this channel rolling, and thanks for all your support. You guys have a great day and take care.